Okay, everybody, we are back. In this module, we are going to continue on with our citation consistency and our exact how-to over the shoulder, what we do to basically clean stuff up, clean up business information across the internet so that Google looks at your stuff and says, hey, everything on the internet is consistent with what we have in our files, so that person gets to rank up high on Google. Okay, or at least they're poised to rank up high. So in the last one, we went over an audit, how to set up this spreadsheet here. And if you have a new business, your spreadsheet may look like this. Or if you have a business that's been around for a while and have had a lot of bad stuff happen, your spreadsheet may look more like this. Green meaning correct stuff. Red meaning bad stuff that needs to be fixed. So in this video, we're going to go over exactly how to clean this stuff up, how to fix all this stuff so you can get on the road to ranking high on Google. So let's get started. Okay, so back again, and I want to just revisit what we're doing here. So we've done an audit on our website. We've gone through and we've searched Google for in quotation marks. Where we at here? In quotation marks, our business name. We've also done it with our phone number. So we'd put our phone number in quotations. But first we do the business. Because we'll get a bunch of junk of directories, U.S. directory, phone directories, and all this stuff. And but you also see it pulled up Yelp, pulled up our Yelp account because we did this phone number. So if you have multiple phone numbers you used over the years, you definitely want to do a search for those. Okay, and then you could even do your address if your address is visible on the internet. Put your address between quotes here and do the variations of your address that you may have used over the years. Your job when you're doing this audit is to scour the internet and find every little piece of information that has to do with your business so you can make sure it's correct and determine if it's correct or not. And this is where you'll put your notes and the issues detected, whether it's correct or not. I put no issues on these ones. On the other example, excuse me, where'd it go? On the other example where we had a lot of problems, we've got all kinds of errors. We've got little errors for the phone number, the address, the location belongs to somebody else. The listing belongs to somebody else, not our client here. It's under somebody else's name. And there's all these different things that we find, or we find a duplicate listing. We find 2 Yelp accounts with different information. One of those needs to be eliminated. So that being said, we've done the audit. And we found that there are a bunch of issues detected that need to be addressed. Maybe it's a phone number, maybe it's an address, maybe it's a duplicate listing, maybe it's been claimed by the wrong person. So let me give you an example. This is a brand new business, the one that I'm showing with the over the shoulder. This is a brand new business, so I'm not going to find any errors on this one. And I can't use current clients as an example because that's their private information, and I will not break their privacy. We have agreements with people not to share their information, so I can't use any specific examples from current clients, but I can do over the shoulder as far as what you're going to do is in certain situations. So let's go back to our Google search where we put the business name in quotations, and I'm going to give you a what if scenario. Okay, so it's going to go out and it's going to find everything that has our business name, our exact business name. And by the way, if you have that same business name in different states, if it's a very common business name, like let's say Extreme Power Washing. I bet there's an Extreme Power Washing in every state. So, well, let's just do that and see what happens. Because I just know from experience that a lot of people use Extreme. Extreme Power Washing and Concrete Cleaning found a Facebook page. Extreme Power Washing in Michigan on a Yellow Pages. Found somebody's website. Another one in Omaha, Nebraska. Another one in New Jersey on Angie's List, which is another citation. It's a paid citation. Not all citations are free. Some of them are paid, like Angie's List, for example. Another one in Omaha. Mesa, Arizona has got a variation of extreme power washing. Villa Park, Illinois, or DuPage County. So, if you have a common business name, you're going to need to go through and pick out which ones are yours and which ones have that type of information. Let's look at this. It's just an example. I'm not saying that this guy's stuff is incorrect, but since I'm doing this on the fly and just kind of showing you how to dig around, do some investigative work. Let's just say this is your business. Let's pretend that Saginaw, Michigan, extreme power washing is your business and it's on yellowpages.com. Let's click on that and check it out. Let's pretend that this is your business and you go in here and you go, oh man, it's got my old phone number on there. Okay? So then we jump back to our spreadsheet. We would pop in, first of all, the URL. So we grab the URL up here. We copy that. I'm going to just use this as an example. Okay? The business name, Extreme Power Washing. I'm going to copy that. And the address, let's say I can put it in like that. And over in the issues detection, I'm going to put no street address hidden, because his address is a home address, so it's probably hidden. Or it's probably a home address, and that's why it's hidden. Sorry. I'm going to grab this phone number. Now, like I said, I'm not saying this guy's stuff is wrong. Let's just pretend that he looks at this. He's going through my videos here, and he sees that he's got the wrong phone number. Okay, let's just pretend. Let's say that it's an old phone number, and now instead of 6938, it's supposed to be 7000. Okay, so I'm going to say street address hidden. Issue detected is wrong phone number. Okay, and then what I would do, you can do this however you want, I would highlight this row, and I would turn it red, or not the words red, but the boxes red, so that I know that needs to be fixed. Okay, but before I did that, I would go through every single instance of extreme power washing in Saginaw, Michigan, and I may need to let's go back. So I may need to put like the state abbreviation to make sure I get just the ones in Michigan. So now we got his Facebook page. It looks like he's got possibly 2 different Facebook pages. One of those needs to go. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just listing it twice. Yellow Pages, B2B yellowpages.com, manta.com, big citations. I don't know what that is, but it would need to be checked out. yp.com, yellowpages.ca. It's Canadian. Local.com. These are all citations that may or may not be correct. Okay, and that's in Alabama, so that's not even that. We're just going to discount that. But we go through and we find everything we possibly can about, your business, extreme power washing in Michigan, in Saginaw, and we'd go through and we'd create a list, and it could have 20 listings, or if it's been around for a while and a lot of stuff has been done, it may look more like this and have 96 listings. Who knows? The more citations, the better, but not the more incorrect citations, the better, or duplicate citations, the better. The more clean, consistent, accurate citations, the better. Okay, so that's just an example. And so let's say I wanted to go in and get that phone number fixed in this example. So let me get back to that Yellow Page listing. And so how do I go in there and correct that? Okay, or there's no website listed here. I want to add my website, add my hours to make sure it matches Google. Okay, that's what I would do if I was this guy. And so how do we get in here and fix that? Well, this is where the frustrating, tedious part of SEO comes in. You need to figure out on each one of these individual pages how to go in there and change it. Maybe Yelp will do, or I'm sorry, maybe Yext.com we talked about will help do this if it hasn't been claimed. But if it's been claimed and has a username and password, you're going to need to go find that username and password, or you're going to need to contact yellowpages.com and say, hey, I need to request a new email and whatever. I mean, you gotta sign in basically. So we sign in. Maybe it's connected to your Facebook account. Maybe it's your Google account. Maybe you forgot your password. You're gonna have to go through each one of these. Let's pull it up. Like, for example, we take this top one right here, this top one in red for this client that I used it as an example. Obviously, I'm not going to show you his exact information for privacy reasons, but I would take this top one, top URL, after I know everything that's wrong. I'd take the top one, I'd log in there, or I'd go to that page. I would do whatever it takes to figure out how to get in there and make edits, make changes, beef it up with pictures or a website or the correct phone number, correct address, hide the address if necessary, make sure the business name is exactly how it shows on Google My Business account. It may take me a week of going back and forth with yellowpages.com before I can get that fixed. That's what we do for people, and that's when people ask, what do you do for SEO? That's what it is. We clean citations. We'll tell people, well, we clean up citations, and people don't have any idea what I'm talking about. This video is a full explanation of what it means to do a citation audit and a citation cleanup. So we go up in here and we go back and forth with yellowpages.com for however long it takes. Maybe it'll take 10 minutes. Maybe it'll take a week. In my notes here, my issues detected, I'm going to leave notes like waiting for a call back from yellowpages.com, waiting for an email response from yellowpages.com. So I know what's going on I got notes for each one. I know what's going on with each and every citation that I'm cleaning up. Now I hope you understand why spreadsheets and organization is so freaking important. I hope I'm hammering home how important it is to stay organized, keep track of usernames and passwords. Maybe you want to have another column here for username or email and another column here for passwords. Okay, that's an idea. We keep ours in a different place. But you may want to keep it all in this same spreadsheet. So that being said, some of them won't require. Some of them maybe never have been claimed, and they like this Yellow Pages it's been 2 years since your business has been out there, and they went out and created a directory for you. You might not know how the hell it even came into existence. Somebody may have set it up for you. Maybe they set that up for you. Maybe yellowpages.com found your stuff on the internet and set that up for you. We've got all of these different directories or citation sites, whatever you want to call them. They all have their own system for making edits, making changes, making updates, making corrections. They all have their very own system. Some require phone verifications, some email verifications, some have little chat boxes down in the corner where you can get stuff done. Obviously, I can't go through every single one of these and teach you one by one how to deal with every single one of them. And on top of that, they changed their protocol for edits and changes, and maybe they sold to another big company, and so now you got to deal with that big company. That's what you're dealing with when you're doing SEO. And that's why SEO is expensive. Good SEO anyway is expensive. It's time consuming. And that's why you want to make sure you stay as organized as possible. You keep all your usernames and passwords. You keep spreadsheets to keep all this together. You pay a little bit extra money so you have brightlocal.com, citation tracking tool, to track all this stuff for you. Okay? All of these, like I said, will need to be addressed. And this is not comprehensive. BrightLocal is not comprehensive. It just gives you the ones that they're saying are the best, the top 50, which is huge. If you get all these correct and your competition doesn't, which your competition probably got some messed up stuff too, unless they're the top 3, then you're going to be in a very good position. But that doesn't mean it's going to take care of every single one of them. And I also want to stress that MozLocal and Yext.com, they market themselves because they want to make money. So they're going to market themselves as, we do all your cleanup work for you. We do it all for you, hands off, put it in once, send it out, and it's done. And you just sit back and wait for the rankings to come. Very rarely does that ever happen. You definitely want to get everything set up with those two sites. You want to pay yex.com and mozlocal.com to set everything up, because it'll eliminate a lot of this work. But don't think that the game is over once you get that submitted. There is still going to be a ton of manual work that you need to do. Okay? Or hire somebody competent that will do that for you. So that's what we do for people. That's the main thing people pay us to do when they're paying us to do SEO, whether they understand it or not, whether they've seen this video or not, or they've researched and figured this stuff out themselves or not. This is the number one thing any SEO company should be doing for a locally based service business, okay, is jumping in and figuring out how to make sure that Yelp is correct, make sure there's only one Yelp listing per commercial address, one Yellow Pages listing, one Super Pages listing, one city search, one Info USA. Make sure all the stuff is correct according to this spreadsheet. The business name, the business address, the business phone number. I'm going to add another one in here, actually. Business website address. Business website. What if you've created 3 or 4 business websites over the year because you had that mindset of more is better? You probably have that mindset. I do more and more stuff and it's better. No, less stuff but clean stuff is better. Okay, less is more when it comes to SEO citation stuff. Okay, and we haven't even gotten to the link building stuff yet. I'm going to get into that in future videos. But you don't even want to touch link building. You don't want to worry about doing all your social signals, and you may have read about this kind of stuff. All this stuff that people talk about that's so important isn't as important as this stuff, or it's not important until this is set up correctly. All this stuff needs to be as clean as you possibly can make it before you start doing anything else. That's why I built these videos in order. That's why these videos should be watched in order. If you jump to the link building at the end of this video series and you start doing that stuff and you haven't done all this and you've got messy citations, you may get a penalty. Or you may just be frustrated because you're doing all this link building stuff that I talk about or that you've read about in other videos and nothing's happening. That's because you're trying to put power to, it's like, think about it like this. You're trying to put high octane fuel into a car that has an engine that, like, with a blown head gasket. Okay? You're trying to put power, and you're trying to do all the wrong things to make this car run smoother, run faster, when you're not addressing the underlying issue, which is that the engine is broken. The engine itself needs to be fixed before you start putting power to it to make your car go faster or run smoother or all that stuff. Fix the broken stuff first, then start doing all this other stuff that that you read about on the internet or see in my videos, as far as providing links and power, ranking power to your website. This stuff is primary. This stuff comes first, and I can almost guarantee that you've got some messed up stuff that needs to be fixed if you've been doing this long enough, if you've been in business for a while. That's not true if you're a brand new business and you're just getting started and you're following my steps directly, exactly, then this kind of cleanup stuff won't apply to you. And you can skip it and you can jump to the power section, the building link section, okay? But until you get this stuff cleaned up, until you have a nice, clean, to put it easier, until you have your audit report with all possible green and no red, forget everything else, okay? Everything else needs to be set up and clean before you start getting into all the other crazy stuff that you read about on the internet, all right? So that's it. That's how you go through. You need to go through each one of these individually, figure out how to get in there, fix them, and it's going to be frustrating. It's going to be tedious. But the more organized you are and the more work you put into it, the more persistence you put into it, the better off you're going to be. And like I said, that's what we do. When people say, what do you do for SEO? We do SEO for service-based businesses. And this is what we do. We audit and we clean up. We audit and we clean up. Once it's all cleaned up, which could take anywhere from 1 to 6 months, Then we get in and start doing some link building, which we'll get into in later videos. But I want to make sure you guys understand we got to have a clean foundation before we start doing anything else. So that's it for this video. Like I said, you know, if you guys, this video is, I know for sure is gonna bring up a lot of questions. Please email me those questions so I can make future update videos on how to do you know, specific things, and we'll go from there. Now, assuming that you've gone through this video, you've done an audit, you've cleaned all your citations up, you're sitting pretty, or you're a brand new business, you're sitting pretty. Now we'll get into like the backlink stuff. Talk about how to get local links for your business. We'll talk about how to get local citations for your business. We'll talk about how to get industry links for your business. Those are the two most important, is local and industry. And then I'll get into another technique where you can actually, you know, buy old websites off auctions, put them on their own separate hosting, and create, you know, educational blogs related to your industry, and you can use those to create links. Okay, there's different things you can do. All this stuff takes work, and if you don't want to do it yourself, you need to hire it out. Oh, one thing I want to talk about as far as hiring it out. There are services out there. Let me find one real quick. So there's a company called WhiteSpark. Citation Cleanup. So do a Google search for WhiteSpark Citation Cleanup. And they have an audit and a cleanup service. They fix your listings the best they can anyway. There's lots of these services like this. Not lots, but there are some out there that do this. And like I said, it's not cheap. So like, let's look at the packages and pricing. So a base package is $400, and they'll do 20 sites. So see how I was talking about, like, you need to go through one by one, do these one by one. They've got people in place that just do this all day long. We do it all day long. It's part of a bigger SEO program, ours is. But you can find, if you want to piece it out to a company, WhiteSpark is one of them that'll do it. And they'll you know, they'll do the top 20 sites. So it doesn't take care of all these 96 sites, but they'll do the top 20. So if you have the top 20 are messed up, and you want to get those fixed, you don't want to do it yourself. I'm not sure how accurate their stuff is, but for this price, it better be pretty damn accurate. And I know WhiteSpark is a good company. And then it sounds like you can pay extra for all the remaining add-on sites according to your needs. So it's a very customizable package. This is one example. You could also do a Google search for like local business citation cleanup service. Let's see what comes up. So there's all these companies that have these services. Let's see this one, Hoth. I've heard of them. I'm not 100% sure how they do it. Make sure they're doing what I tell you, though. Make sure it's not just some blanket, you know, put it in the Yext and be done, because some of them will do that. Make sure it's a manual. They go in there manually. And we're not looking for building. We're doing our own building with Yext and Moz Local and manually. Social citations. So have inconsistent citations. Let's check and see what they say there. Let us clean them up for you. That's what we're looking for. See, they're talking about stuff I was talking about. Wrong address, wrong phone number, wrong name. They're even using a cleaning service like I have been as a sample. Because cleaning businesses and service businesses have the biggest issue with citation cleanup. What we do, we fix them. Fixing these issues isn't an easy ordeal. Maybe that sounds familiar. Every source is different, and as a result, a lot of manual labor is required. I'm starting to like this company more and more, how it works. Step 1, audit. Sound familiar? Manual outreach and contact. So this is the real stuff. The Hoth.co. This is the real stuff. $3.99. So another $400 citation cleanup. They fix 70 to 90%. And by the way, if you get about 90% of these done, or above, you're looking really good. I would not expect to ever get 100, especially if you're looking like this guy over here that has 96 citations and only 19 good ones. If he gets 90% of these cleaned up, he's sitting pretty. They've got all these disclosures. Yeah, so this may be an option. $400, not bad. Who knows how long it'll take them? But they probably got people like we do that are just on staff doing this stuff day in, day out. They know how to get in and do this stuff much faster than you. So if you want to hire it out, that's cool. But just make sure they're going to be doing stuff manually and they're not doing some cheap, if they say $50 or something like that, run. No way. No way somebody's going to do all these citations for $50. $400 minimum, I would say. And it also depends on how messy your actual situation is. And then you won't know until you do an audit or have somebody do an audit for you. So that's it for citation audits. That's it for citation cleanups. I know that these are a little bit long and it's kind of like a rant. But like I said, this is the number one most important thing that any service-based local business needs to do for SEO. And if you can do this, you'll be ahead of your competition, because I can almost guarantee if your competition is not doing this, which they're probably not, or they're probably not even aware of it. Most SEO companies aren't even aware of this. Or they are aware of it, and they're like, that's too much work. I don't charge enough money. I can't charge enough money to make it worth it for me. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put it into Yext, and I'm going to pretend like that's good enough. And a lot of SEO companies will bury their heads in the sand and say this is not important, knowing in the back of their mind that it is. So make sure if you hire it out, it's a reputable SEO company. If you're going to do it yourself, make sure you get ready for some major manual labor, because that's what's involved. And okay, I'm done ranting, guys, but I hope you get the point. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Email me at joe@bigwestmarketing.com. And moving on, we're going to get into backlinks, which is the power behind ranking. Okay, that's it for now. I will talk to you soon.